Ribbit. Alright, today I'm going to keep it simple, hopefully. I just want to go over a couple format directives. Some of which I knew about and some I didn't. Mostly for spacing and new lines. So first, formats. Format T. And then I'm just going to say more than one new line. And then tilde %, because that's how I get a new line normally. In the past, I've just done this for more than one new line. And so now I have two. But of course, there's this, which I didn't realize. So you can spit out more than one new line like this, which I guess now you can do as many as you want without having to do the tilde % so much. So that's kind of convenient. Maybe I'll leave those there for a minute. And then this one I knew about because I've used it, but I'm just going to go over it because when I first started using format, I really didn't like the way the spacing works whenever you go to a new line. So it's like before the tilde, let's say, and then I'm just going to put a tilde here. I guess if it's going to put a space there, that space doesn't matter. So with or without a space, it would matter. Oh, you know what? Let me show it without that though. So I used to come over here and then you'll say like, let's say after the tilde, which I guess there isn't one there. And I'm just going to put a new line there because it's convenient. Well, since I'm in the REPL, this doesn't matter because it's going to give me a new line anyway. If I was in a file, it would make a difference. So, but whenever I'm in a file instead of in the REPL, let's say, I always wanted to, make my code like this, but then it prints out all those spaces. And I just wanted my formats to be lined up with the strings, like the string lines or whatever. So you can just put a tilde here. And if you do that, oh, I guess I did need that space there after all. That makes sense. So let's do it like this. And then notice, I can still line my code up and it doesn't really jack up anything. So that's the most convenient one if you ask me. Well, I guess if you're putting a bunch of new lines, then that other one's convenient. And then these other ones, I don't know how much I would use them, but I'm just going to come over here. And then after that tilde, if you put a colon, then it doesn't put a new line, but it keeps the space there, which I don't know. Maybe if you're doing some kind of tabular data or something, or actually one of those spaces, I don't know. But I'm pretty sure there's probably a field, like a directive for doing tabular data, knowing like the Lisp people or whatever. And then right here, this right here is just the opposite of that one. It puts the new line there, but it doesn't put the spacings there. Not really a big deal, I guess, but it's interesting to know. And then while I'm thinking about it, because I don't know if I ever noticed this the other day, I was just trying something out. I'm just gonna like do like the sly scratch. If I could spell sly, scratch, and then I'm used to having these the other way around, but I guess it doesn't matter right now. What's I gonna do? Oh, let me just come over here and copy one of these guys. Let's say like this one. And then like I can say Control X E or the Control Alt X, and it'll spit that stuff out to the REPL. I guess now is where the tilde might make more sense in this one, just to put this. But I also can say like Control U. Oops, I did a Control Y. Let me Control G that. Control Alt X. But before that, do a Control U, Control Alt X. And then it spits that stuff out inside the file I'm in. Which might not be the most convenient way it does it. You can hit like Alt space here, and it'll get rid of all but one space. And then the same thing if you're at the end, and you can hit Control X, Control E. And so if I was to say Control U, Control X, Control E, then it's just spitting that out. It's kind of like hitting the Control J. Although, to be fair, whenever that happens whether you're in the scratch pad or not. But inside the scratch pad, you can just hit Control J and it'll spit that stuff out. And it might even, if I had more new lines here, then if I was to grab that stuff I had right here, let's say, and then paste that here and then hit Control J, then the output's actually better. The only deal here is if I hit enter, that it's going to try to automatically indent that single thing. So here, since I put those new lines, and see it didn't keep them. So let's just say, like before I did that, if I had enough new lines here, let's say, I come over here and hit Control J, then I can just hit Control N, and then I don't have to worry about it re-indenting. The other thing you could do, I guess, is hit Control A and put another semicolon on these guys. And then it's not going to try to re-indent. It's just when you have that single comment, like a single semicolon comment, it tries to re-indent it because that's supposed to be like after some code. Anyway, ribbit.